Got to tell you, every year thousands of people get help from crisis services. Now they are involved in training police officers to more effectively respond to mental health calls. Here to tell us more, we have Kristen Aducci, who's the Crisis Intervention Team Training Coordinator, and Town of Tonawanda Police Department Officer Joseph Milicic, who is working in your department, Joseph. Right now, you're passing that training on to other officers.
Yes, ma'am.
So good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
This sounds like such a great idea, Kristen.
Well, we're really fortunate to be able to have funders be able to support this. The Patrick Lee Foundation for the last 4 years has funded our training. It's called Crisis Intervention Team Training, and it focuses on teaching law enforcement how to respond to people that are dealing with mental illness in the community.
Right, because I can understand, officer, when you get called, you're not trained in that normally. I mean, you're looking to keep the peace. You need to speak with people. But if people do have, if there's a mental illness here, that's not what your training is. So I can see where special training would be beneficial for you and the person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We touch upon it during the police academy, and then crisis intervention training really expands upon, a lot of elements, signs and symptoms of mental illness, and just different ways to accommodate individuals living with mental illness.
Right, and that way if you see those signs and symptoms, you can get that person, you can identify what the problem is, and you can get help even faster for them. Have you found that on the job, this has actually come into play already?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
I think that, an individual living with mental illness, it's unfortunately, it's become common that they have run-ins with law enforcement. And now police all over your county, we've partnered with crisis services. They've provided the training for us to link these individuals with appropriate care or services.
And Kristen, I can imagine too that we have Officer Milicic doing this in Tonawanda, but this training is starting to go all around now. Are you already now involved with the Buffalo Police?
Yeah, we're involved with pretty much every department in Erie County. The last one that we started to train was Buffalo PD, and they've really been supportive of it. We just trained around 20 officers in the last couple weeks. We've also been at the Erie County Holding Center last week, where we trained over 25 officers in crisis intervention team training. We're very fortunate too that all the departments, they not only do they have trained officers, they create teams of officers. So when a call comes into 911 that's mental health related, a trained officer is dispatched to that call.
Oh, that's
versus
great.
an officer that wouldn't have the training.
I had read that there's a large percentage of people who are in prisons who actually have mental illness and were just never diagnosed. So unfortunately, people end up taking that road and being incarcerated when basically if their problem was addressed earlier on, wouldn't have led to that.
And that's our goal, is for officers to be trained to be able to catch it, because when they have that first contact with law enforcement, if we can turn them around and get them into the community mental health services, they're less likely to be involved with the criminal justice system.
Right.
We don't want them to have to go through that process of having to be incarcerated. We want to stop them, get them the help they need, and then really it's about building bridges between law enforcement and the community.
Sure.
So that law enforcement is, the people with mental illness know that law enforcement is there to help them and to actually help them succeed. And
How long is the training for something like this?
we do 32 hours in the classroom, and then we do an 8-hour ride-along with our mobile outreach department at Crisis Services.
Oh, wow.
So.
And officer, you said this has really helped?
Absolutely.
Yeah, what have you heard from the guys and the women who you're training?
All positive feedback.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've received the training in 2014. Again, that was through Crisis Services and Patrick Lee Foundation. And what we've done now is, it's been just a tremendous partnership. We've gone on to train multiple law enforcement agencies within Erie County, and it goes across the board. It's the Erie County Holding Center, it is probation, SBCA, a lot of the town departments, including my own Town of Tonawanda, and everyone's received it incredibly well.
Is there a different protocol when you get a call that might be a mental illness call?
Yeah, I'd say each call is unique.
Sure.
There's no set way to resolve each and every single call we go to. But what we're finding success with is when possible to really slow situations down.
Yes.
We do a lot with empathy and active listening, and we apply these techniques to the situation, and it usually ensures a better resolution.
I would even imagine body language, as you're
Absolutely.
approaching the person, because it can be intimidating if somebody is having a problem with someone who has a mental illness and you have to call the police and you come in and you're fully garbed in your gun and your uniform. that can be a little scary.
It can be really
and
intimidating.
if you've been given some training with that, you can approach this person a little softer and with a little bit more knowledge of their needs, you know, and the ways you can help. And I would imagine that really, really is beneficial for both parties.
It is. I mean, not even just the feedback from the officers, but from the community has been really great. Families, friends, neighbors, they all really, it seems like they really recognize the additional training and they appreciate the effort.
Well, we certainly appreciate it. And Kristen, we're so glad that you brought Officer Milicic here to explain it to us.